We all silly like the mayor.
What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Pregame. Coming to you live from Hooters. Oh, wow. What up, Bulls Nation?
What up?
I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's my guy, Big Dave. BNWL Sports. Will, perfectly coiffed. The Go Gottlieb. Will Gottlieb.
Too.
And the controls, the one and only KDW. What up, KD?
Hello.
We got everybody hanging out here. Emma's here.
Emma's
Steven's
here.
Steven's
here. Chris is here.
Brother Peck is here.
Brother Peck is here?
Oh, that's right. What up, bro?
Oh, hey, what up, man?
Our guy Strick is here.
Strick is here.
Kimberly
is here. Yeah.
Dude, all the cool people are here. Shout out to everybody who came out to hang out for an extended CHGO Bulls pregame tonight. We got an hour before tip-off.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
I feel great.
Feel great?
But that's usual. I'm always feeling great. Always feel wonderful. Don't matter what's happening.
Why don't you brag
This is
about
the feeling. I will. I feel amazing. I feel excellent. Life is good.
Big cup of ice water in front of you.
It's my second cup of water. People are bringing me waters. Shout out to Emma. It's been great. It's been awesome, man. Your turn.
I'm good. I can never.
We'll take it.
You can't. You always have to ask me first. I can never follow Dave when you ask. He's always great. I'm just fine.
Dave's always like, I'm hyped because I'm okay.
Yeah, man. Like,
I'm hanging in there.
I'm hyped, bro. Like all the time. We get to hang out with these people, hang out at Hooters, have some awesome food. This water, honestly, is pretty amazing. And yeah, watch this Bulls game, man, against OKC. I mean, I'm very excited about this game. This is going to answer a lot of questions for me, bro. For real.
Talk about a huge test. Before we dive into tonight's pregame action, obviously you're taking on our old pal Alex Caruso and the NBA leading Oklahoma City Thunder. Just another quick shout out to not only Stephanie here at Hooters, who's been helping us out, get everything set up, but your entire staff doing a great job keeping us not being thirsty. Keeping our tummies not being hungry. Have you tried some of those shrimp?
Not yet. I'm waiting till it's open, then I'm gonna get on up in that.
Wings, delicious.
Yeah.
Shrimp, delicious.
You're gonna like it.
I remember being a lot of food over there. Now I look over there, it's just a boneyard, bro.
They brought us a cornucopia of delicious fried foods.
Oh man,
you know I'm happy.
Oh yeah, the joy. See, there it is. There you go.
It's back.
It's back in here.
Oh man, are the Bulls back? That's the big question.
Of course,
Bulls are back.
Bulls are back. Emma told us they back.
Emma told us for sure.
Emma said they're back, so I guess they're back, man.
If you're asking the question, the Bulls are back.
Yeah. But this is what we find out tonight. This is why I'm so excited about this game tonight. This is honestly the test. I don't think they'll have another game the rest of the season to be tested like they will tonight. They are going to get the full brunt of the OKC Thunder tonight, man. And we're going to answer a lot of questions about certain players, about the Bulls' future. I think personally, like a lot of stuff for me will be resolved in this game, man.
That's interesting you say that because most people will say don't put too much stock into any one game.
No, it's true.
We've talked about the Bulls' level of competition on this hot streak that they've gone on in the month of March. And it started bum slaying, right? Yeah. But then as it progressed and they kept stacking wins together, the competition got more real and real. Even like going back to the middle of the month, some of the teams that did get big W's against, like they beat the Nuggets without Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
They beat the Sacramento Kings without Domantas Sabonis.
Correct.
And, you know, a little ways before that, they beat the Pacers without Tyrese Haliburton. But now you see, like, dude, they beat the Lakers twice. LeBron James and Luka Doncic both played in each of those games.
They did.
More of these wins recently look a bit more real.
Suck it, LeBron.
And now, as you just mentioned, this could be their last big test before they go to
They do have the Cavs one more time.
They do have the Cavs.
That's iffy, though, because they might still have things answered.
Does Cleveland have the number one seed in the East locked up at that point? And
exactly.
So, this one, I mean, this is a test of a test because the Thunder do have the number one seed in the West already locked up. They do not have the number one overall seed. Should they meet Cleveland in the NBA Finals, they would want home court for that. Yeah. And I think Cleveland's only about 2 games back right now. So that's still to be decided. Obviously, the Thunder still have plenty to play for. This is the test of all tests to see. Yeah. You know, don't put too much stock into any one game.
Right.
but
I'm putting a nice amount in it.
Right.
Not all of it, but I'm putting a nice amount in it, man. There are a lot of things I need answered. All right. There are a lot of questions I need answered. We'll start with number one for me, which is Josh Giddey. There will be some answers for young Josh if he's healthy enough. Josh,
so he has been given the green light.
Okay.
He has been given the green light to play tonight.
No way he was missing this game.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure he was all right. He had a hip.
He did pop up on the injury report with a hip soreness, but he will play tonight.
Okay. So they are going to be playing him a little bit differently than we have seen this past month. Teams were just getting kind of familiar with Josh Giddey. And I'm not taking away any greatness that he was doing out there. The man was shooting over 50% from three. He was averaging damn near a triple-double. Like, he was looking unstoppable. I still am on record, and I stand by this, saying the best game I saw him play for the Bulls was that Lakers game when he hit the half-court shot. And it wasn't because of the half-court shot. He had a bunch of turnovers also. I think he had like 7 turnovers that game. But it was the fact that it was on him. They needed him to do everything. They needed him, not just his points and rebounds and, his grit, shout out Kirk Heinrich, but they needed every one of his points. And that has always been a question. Can Josh Giddey be that scorer that you need? Can he carry that team? He was the best player on the floor for the CHGO Bulls in that game. He set everybody else up, and he did everything right, even though the scheme was to stop him and slow him down and slow down his running and getting out in transition. So I appreciated that game. Didn't work so well in the second game against Dallas. Dallas did a really good job, but I still think Giddey had some fatigue. But that's why I think this one will answer some questions for me, man. So that stuff is out the way. The focus will be on him.
And you and your fellow beat members were talking to Billy after the close loss to the Mavs on Saturday night.
That's a flex.
A game in which we saw for the first time in a while Josh Giddey not close in a game that was close. And he talked a little bit about the matchups, and targeting Giddey that was happening. We saw him remove Giddey from the fourth quarter lineup a lot earlier on the season, but while he's been playing well, he has been a staple of Billy Donovan's closing five. And what do you make of where we are now with, does Giddey need to have a response game because he wasn't on the floor late against the Mavericks, or do you think that was just a little blip in what has otherwise been no, Giddey's a closer now?
That's interesting. I think, like you said, putting too much weight in any single game is a recipe for coming to the wrong conclusions. And I think what you need to look at is the trends. And the trends have been him playing really well, him closing games, him locking in a little bit more defensively. And he's never going to be an elite perimeter defender, or he's never going to be somebody that can block a ton of shots and really protect the rim at a high level. But can he avoid being targeted? Can he avoid teams picking on him or putting him in action to where you have to take him off the court? And I think a big piece of that is being so good on the offensive end that it doesn't matter what you're giving up on the defensive end. You're so good and so important to the team that you're still out there.
The DeMar DeRozan story for 3 years.
Or Zach LaVine, or
counting.
A lot of these guys, even Luka, is a guy like that. Where it's he's killing you on the defensive end, but he's so dominant offensively that you got to have him out there. So I think that's part of it. But at the same point, Billy has been consistent in talking about Giddey at some point is going to need to rely on his size, his length, and his IQ and his smarts to be able to be in the right positions at the right time. He's not going to be a guy that can stay in front of Kyrie Irving or, those kind of shifty guards. And he's probably not a guy that can stay in front of Jokic and, defend the paint. But can he give you enough on that end to where he's just not killing you? And in that game against Mavericks, they kind of picked up where they left off in the playoffs. And they said, nope, we're coming at you every single possession, spread pick and roll, putting you in action, and we're going to go at you. And he couldn't get stops. And look, again, that's okay. It's like a regular season game. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
I don't want to put too much on that. But it is a concern that we've had about him. And so to my earlier point, which is you've got to look at the trends and not just how did he perform in that one single game. I think, it's on him to come back and respond. But look, they're playing against a team that he knows well, that's obviously incredibly talented, that has a lot of guys who can pick on you in that way. So do I expect the Thunder to get into some of that? Yeah, and I think it's on Giddey to now say, here's why you have to stop doing that and not hope that other teams stop targeting him.
Exactly right. And
I think that's the story of his defensive end. But offensively, it's the same piece. It's how do you continue to string these games together? You can have bad games. You can have games where you don't shoot the ball well. We all knew he was not going to be a 52% three-point shooter for the rest of time. But how do you respond to that? And how do you exist in those games when your shot is not falling? And in that game, I didn't think he did enough to put pressure on the rim. And so, that's okay. Again, one single game. But, the great players, maybe they have a bad game, but they don't have two bad games in a row. Or they, they don't allow that to become who he is, right? And so I think in that sense, like if Giddey's going to be the guy, and Mark Stein wrote about today, like still looking for that $30 million number on his next contract, that's fine. But then you have to be able to do that consistently against the good teams to warrant that. And so it's not like a prove it game for him in the sense that he's got to come back and show us that was a one-off thing, but it's more like, can he just get back to the level that he's playing at so that you continue to buy him as that level of player and not he was on a hot stretch. Like there has to be a consistency there. And I think that's what Billy's going to be looking for. And that's what Josh should be going after.
Screw that, Will. The fate of the world is on this game. The aliens have come down and he needs to see this happen.
I need one player.
Just one player.
$1. I mean, it might not be the fate of the world, but the fate of the Bulls securing that home court in the first round of the play-in tournament. Because they are record-wise even with Miami. They have that tiebreaker.
They are.
You can't slip to 10th. Once you seize 9th, as dominantly and convincingly as the Bulls have, you can't slide back to 10th. I mean, the audacity of such things.
I hear hints of sarcasm in your tone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I've never been more genuinely authentic about anything.
I mean, I've got a hat on with these earphones. I could be wrong hearing this incorrectly, but
But I still part about wearing headsets. I can't even throw a sarcastic hat right now.
This is true.
It's true.
I can find you a hat if that's what you want to do.
That's what a producer
It's going to
does.
land in some wings, though.
I don't
You don't want to mess up people's wings.
Somebody's delicious pile of wings.
But I trust his hat throwing skills. I think he'll hit that wall right there perfectly, man.
He'll hit something.
I would try to land it on a bystander's head.
It's true.
Like just have it land,
Oh, perfectly like that?
Yeah, like a hat rack.
I believe in him. I believe. I will say that it's the one thing we talked about with Coby White as far as what do you do when they take away what you like to do? And when you're having a bad game, how else can you help a team, as you just mentioned? Again, this is the same questions I have for Josh Giddey. And people, even though he acts, a very mature, like this is a 22-year-old guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he carries himself in such a mature way. You kind of forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
But this is a 22-year-old guy still learning his game and developing. And teams are going to attack you. It's the biggest compliment they can give you is when they start, focusing in on you and saying, "Hey, dude, no, we see how good you are.
We got to
go ahead and take this defense." Yeah, like this. So
and that's
why I'm interested to see how he responds just against a team like this and against the team he was on, for sure.
And that's exactly why I'm interested in Coby tonight too, because he's been at such a high level consistently since the All-Star break, since Zach got traded, of really stepping in and being that primary guy, not just from a scoring perspective, but like from a driving perspective of who's the one that's initiating the offense, who's the one that's getting everything started. And I think Giddey obviously being the primary point guard, in air quotes, like of being the guy who brings it up half court. But like Coby has just been so, just such a focal point in the Bulls offense. And one of the things that makes this Thunder team so elite is they're not just incredible defense. They're the best defense in the league. They're one of the best in the last 5 years, but their ability to pressure the ball. And we see this with Caruso, obviously, who, by some metrics is the best defensive player in the league. I think he's easily, an all-NBA caliber defender. But then they've also got Lou Dort. They've also got Cason Wallace. They've also got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams and Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren.
Make it stop.
Everybody up and down that rotation defends at an incredibly high level.
Yeah.
And so Coby has been awesome, but he has not faced anybody like the Thunder have guys who they can throw at him.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a challenge for both him and Giddey to be able to continue to put that pressure on the paint, get to the rim when you have that point of attack defense in front of you.
Right. The way that the Bulls have been scoring with the fast pace and scoring in the interior, and Coby drawing fouls, getting to the line, Josh Giddey drawing fouls, getting to the line because they're playing up tempo. You just mentioned a couple names to keep an eye on, Holmgren and Hartenstein, Goat, as far as that interior defense for OKC. They are both on the Thunder's injury report. And as of the most recent updated one at 5:30 Central Time, waiting on 6:30 Central Time's injury report update, they were both still questionable, both dealing with hips, actually. The older you get, the taller you are.
They put their hands up on them?
Yeah. When I dip, you dip, we hip.
Well done, Matthew.
But so, obviously it would be big for the Bulls' favor if either of them get the scratch, because scoring on the inside, drawing fouls on the inside because of up-tempo pace will be harder for Coby, Josh, or anyone otherwise if Holmgren and Hartenstein are out there.
Quick number to add to that. The Thunder this year are the 5th best team in the league at limiting fouls. So their opponents take only 21 free throw, 21.2% free throw rate.
The Thunder are the best at a lot of things.
I mean, they're number one.
So we can dive a bit more into what the Thunder are doing well to lead them to this current number one seed in the NBA. When we come back from the other side of this ad break, we got to shout out a couple people. While we're doing that, throw us a like if you're watching on YouTube, if you haven't done it yet. If you're here hanging out with us at Hooters, order yourself another beer, order some wings.
Order them. Or shrimp.
Today's show is, in fact, brought to you by the lovely folks at Hooters, where we're hanging out right now.
Yeah.
At their downtown Chicago Wells Street location.
660 North.
Are you thirsty?
Always.
Head to Hooters for $6 cocktails.
I'm already here.
We're here. $6 cocktails, Dave. Always original.
Yeah.
I mean, have you tried a marg yet?
Not yet.
You got to try a marg.
Oh, I'm going to get down.
I'm so pumped.
Katie's ready
as
for a marg.
soon as the show ends, I'm getting a marg.
Katie's ready for a marg. Guess
Her
what? You
first
can get it
day.
for just $6, Katie. $6. The legendary Hooters margarita. So sweet, so tasty, so cheap. That's right. $6 all day, every day. If you're looking for a place to hang out with your friends, your fam, watch the game, we got a few more games in the epic madness of March.
Yeah.
Even though today's the last day of March.
Yes.
We let it carry into April.
Yes, we do.
Big games. And then right after that, you got the NBA playoffs right around the corner.
On the way.
You need a go-to spot to watch the game, to get some delicious beers or some cocktails and those delicious wings. Dave's going to try the shrimp. Try one of the 11 Chicagoland Hooter locations all over the place, in the city, in the suburbs, Countryside, Downers Grove, Joliet, Lansing, Melrose Park, Oak Lawn, O'Hare, Orland Park, Schaumburg, and that's right here, Wells Street, downtown. And if you want the Hooters to come to you, they can handle that because you can order online for pickup and delivery options.
Both?
Check them out at originalhooters.com. And again, shout out to Stephanie and all of the incredible crew here at the Wells location.
Yeah.
Doing a great job taking care of us and all of our fellow patrons, all of our fellow Bulls fans.
Yeah.
Check out the Hooters.
Yes. Check it out. And shout out to the Hooter girls as well. Absolutely.
Shout out.
Magic Giddey. Katie, what time is it?
Game time, Hoot.
See, I said Katie.
Game time hoot. I had a mouthful of water. That was so bad.
I thought you said Giddey. What time was
I said Magic Giddey. Don't look. I was telling you. Exactly, sir. Exactly. What's the be of a brain? Well done, sir. He is trained. I like this. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier, ladies and gentlemen. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. No. Curation makes it easy to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, and theater events that you want to check out. Of course, they got that all-in pricing. You better believe they got that lowest price guarantee. And sure enough, they got that Game Time ticket coverage, which also comes with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. But they got the Matt and Big Dave and sometimes GOAT favorite, seat views. We got to see them. Where are we stretching out? Where can we be? See, we got to put the dogs. That's what I need. Is it going to be a place where people will be behind me and mad because I'm drinking all the beer and yelling and got my feet out? Don't matter. I just need to be comfortable. Where's the bathroom? Where's the exit? Seat views will let me know all this stuff, and you get them with Game Time, y'all. So take that guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code CHGO to get yourself $20 off your first purchase. But it goes like this: CHGO, get yourself $20 off your first purchase. I said CHGO, get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Hello, Game Time today. Miss Katie, tell me what time is it?
Game time, a hoot.
See, that was a bounce pass.
She was ready for that.
Yeah, that was a bounce pass.
That was a ref bounce passing to a man meant to shoot a free throw.
And you know what was funny? Like I knew I had GOAT on the wing, you know what I'm saying, pulling up
I
for
was just
three.
spacing the floor.
Yeah, he was on the wing, you know, but I said, no, we're going to get the bounce pass inside. I knew he was there, though.
Sometimes the best shot is the simplest shot. Right under the basket for a layup.
Although sometimes when you're wide open on the wing, you need to put the ball on the floor to collapse the defense and then kick it out to a notoriously unreliable three-point shooter.
He can't help himself. He just can't. He can't do it.
What up, Stace? All right, we roll along CHGO Bulls pregame live here at Hooters on Wells Street, downtown Chicago. Shout out everybody hanging out with us. Gentlemen,
I want to get into my third part.
Okay, you have a third
there
part.
There were three things.
Big Dave comes in parts
tonight,
tonight,
three things.
What was the first
coming section?
What's the second part? Kobe?
What
was
was
the
the
second
first
part.
two?
It was Giddey.
Kobe.
Oh, Giddey,
Kobe.
Kobe. Okay.
Kobe.
Okay.
So if they're planning for Kobe, and you know that they're planning for Giddey, Who does that leave open?
Patrick Williams.
That is incorrect.
Modest Buzelis.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe the guy who scored 28 points instead of 0 on Saturday?
Yes.
0, Pat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, Modest.
Yeah. Shake your fist at him. Shake harder, boy. But, dude, I will definitely be looking at Modest Buzelis in this game tonight, because if they're trying to take away those two guys, I think he's going to get a chance to continue doing what we have seen him do. His handles have been so awesome. I've been really proud of watching him dribble. I think about what GOAT says all the time. When you're that tall with handles, you're a star in this league.
You're a problem.
You're an absolute problem. This is how it works. So I am very interested to watch how he plays and just how they trying to scheme against him, because he's your third option. And usually your third option doesn't get, all that coverage. So I'm curious to see how this incredible defensive team will try to defend a guy like Modest Buzelis, who, if he continues to trend and continues to get better, he will become indefensible as the years go by, like seriously. But I think this game is a great test for that. You saw it in that Lakers game when he dropped 31 on those guys, man. Right. You saw it last game in Dallas when Giddey was struggling. Kobe was hitting his shots, but that wasn't until like the fourth quarter. Somebody had to carry me in those three, and it was Modest Buzelis. Can he do that again tonight against the number one team record-wise in the NBA? And
I think the other thing that I'll be looking for tonight against this quality of an opponent, especially on the defensive end, this is the number one defense in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen plenty of Modest making himself useful off the ball so far this season, GOAT, as not only a spot-up catch-and-shoot guy, but a guy who's really good at making cuts through the paint, slashes, backdoor cuts, baseline, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of where his offensive, wheelhouse started. And then even, recently, within the last few weeks, Billy was speaking at some practice or some post-game about, the next step in Modest's game being on-ball stuff. And, can we draw up plays for Modest that we can involve him in? And we saw in that game against the Mavs on Saturday night, we saw Modest in more pick-and-roll kind of actions, some two-man game. We saw him as the setup guy and the roll man in pick-and-roll actions, because he has that versatility with his physicality and his skill set. What do you make of this shift of Modest being more of an on-ball threat as well as an off-ball threat?
Yeah, so Billy talked about this right after the All-Star break. We were asking him if there was going to be more opportunity to explore Modest's ball skills. And he kind of said that was in the plans, but they were going to kind of work slowly towards it. We didn't see a lot of it. Prior to last game, only 29 possessions in pick and roll for him as a ball handler. I tweeted out a couple of videos. I don't know that captured all of it from last game, but it was really nice to see. And it's not like they're letting Modest bring it up the court, everybody clear outs, get to the corners and wings, and then bring one guy. It's more in the flow of the offense. Yeah. First action doesn't work, and now second action, not a ton of advantage being created. Okay, now bring somebody into the play and allow him to see what he can do. And I mean, like you said, Dave, that's what I think can differentiate a guy. When you are that tall and you can create off the dribble, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him to be able to do it in isolation or just breaking guys down one-on-one, but even just in the flow of the offense, like he was doing, can you slow the game down for yourself, make the right reads, and either finish at the rim or drop it off to the roll man or to the opposite corner wing? That's how it starts. And Billy's talked a lot about letting him play within his box. Yeah. That's why he really likes Julian Phillips. He runs at the corners, he catches and shoots threes. Yeah. He attacks the offensive glass, he back cuts, and he plays defense. That's how you earn minutes as a young player. And now that he's earned minutes, Modest here, you can start to expand that out a little bit. And I think that's what's been really encouraging is, yes, he was making his shots, and I think that opens a lot up. He was saying the other day that teams are starting to close out to him harder because he's shooting the ball really well right now. And that opens up the floor for him to be able to make those plays. But I think it's just a really positive and encouraging sign when you can start to see him create a little bit more and not just be a play finisher. That being the play finisher, catching and shooting when you're open, rolling to the basket hard, catching lobs, back cuts, all that stuff that you're talking about, Matt, that's really important. He needs to continue to do that, but that's what's allowing him to now take some more steps in his game, which is, I think, what you can be really encouraged about for him moving forward, is that he's not just a guy that can stand in the corner and make threes. He can do that, but he can also create off the dribble, and that's a valuable thing when you're 6'10".
Force within the comments saying Modest on the dribble handoff can be deadly. We've seen it.
Yeah,
we've seen little flashes of it.
Yeah,
and we hope to see more of it. Again, against this very elite Thunder defense tonight. So let's take a look, because guys, the last time the Bulls played the Thunder, because it was back on October 26th. It's actually the Bulls' home opener, I believe, of the season.
It was.
The Caruso homecoming. Now it's Giddey's turn for his homecoming in OKC.
Right.
But so, obviously a lot of different factors there, including Zach LaVine, who was out there playing. I think he had like 22 points, but also 7 turnovers. So the LaVine factor's gone. A lot of different parts, huge gap since the last time they saw this team. In case you missed it, the Thunder are the number 1 overall seed in the NBA right now, as we mentioned previously. A couple of wins away from locking in home court throughout the entire playoffs, including the NBA Finals, should they get there. They are winners of their last 9 games.
Okay.
And 16 of their last 17.
Wow.
At 62-12.
I think that's a lot.
Currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Bulls 8 out of 10 was cute. You know what's better? 16 of their last 17.
And you know how, we've been really applauding the Bulls for being, I just wrote something today. In their last 15 games, they're 10-5 with a 4.3 net rating.
Yeah.
And that's been they've been really good. That's the sign of a really good team. The Thunder in their last 6 games have a plus 23.1 point differential. Just
which
comically
is outrageous.
Good. Comically good.
They have a net rating on the season of plus 13.2, which is tops in the NBA by a couple of points. They have the number 1 defensive rating in the NBA by a couple of points at 107 flat. They have a 107 defensive rating for the entire season. Oh, and by the way, they also have the 3rd best offense in the NBA, 120.2 points per 100. I mean, goodness.
They're basically playing like a 70-win team.
Right.
That's how good they are.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're at 62 right now.
They're on their way.
And 62-12 makes what? 74, 8 games to go. They could be a 70-win team when it's all said and done. So obviously at the forefront of it is MVP frontrunner Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
good.
Emma, wherever you are. I don't mean to trigger you. We're going to talk about Shai for a second. our in-house Clippers fan. Emma, he's real good. He's real good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the NBA this season in points per game at just shy of 33 points per game.
Wow.
That's prime MJ stuff. That's
it is. No, real talk.
On very respectable shooting splits of 52, 37 from 3, 90 at the line. And when you think about the volume of free throws Shai is taking this season, to be doing so at 90% is very impressive. Also dishing out 6.3 assists per game, 5 boards, 1.7 steals. Also a huge piece of why this Thunder defense is as good as it is. Is SGA being a lockdown defender, an excellent perimeter defender. Guys, he leads the NBA this season in the following statistical categories: total points scored, points per game, total field goals made, total field goals attempted, total free throws made per game, win shares, defensive shares, and win shares per 48. Which is why a lot of people are looking at him as not only your MVP frontrunner, but as good as Nikola Jokic has been this season, your runaway MVP winner. I hopped on our Bet365, my Bet365 app earlier today. Shout out to them. We'll get to pregame picks later on to see what the MVP odds were. Shai is minus 4,000.
Wow.
Joker is number 2 at plus 1,400.
I would say
under their
closer
futures
than
bet.
that. But...
I thought it would be closer than that.
Wow.
I did not think it was that much of a runaway.
I think it should be a runaway.
You think it should be a runaway?
Yeah.
Speak on that.
Because this is comical what this man is doing. And he's doing it on the best team in the league. That's the part right there. It's not just what we've seen Joker do, which is, again, also comical and ridiculous with what he's doing. But what we've seen Shai do is to do it at this level and never come down in the West, to never, ever come down off of that number 1 perch or even entertain it coming down off of that. And then to be in every single game as he's doing it and doing it on both sides of the floor. That is MVP stuff. The way the team galvanizes around that young man, the way he carries himself. I get mad when people call him the free throw merchant and stuff like that. That just tells me you ain't watching the game. Because if you go watch this dude and just see how, first of all, how unselfish he is and how he lets the game come to him. And he knows when to take over and when not to. But man, it is so smooth and so easy. It is like DeRozan on steroids. It is so smooth and easy, man.
Younger DeRozan.
Yes, man.
Or still got legs in him.
Like
still
younger
on
DeRozan on
steroids.
steroids.
You know what I mean? Still
DeMar
on
was never this good.
That's right, because he's averaging 30. He's averaging 30 plus, shooting 50% and 90 from the line, you know? So I get he gets to the free throw line, but I don't think he's chasing those things. Like when you think of guys like James Harden or something like that.
He's not.
I don't think he's doing those things like that, man. He is really playing a incredible game, and then you look up and you're like, he's got 45. Like, it is just a smooth 45 that he does in front of your face every night while locking you down. That is an MVP, ladies and gentlemen. And for me, it was a runaway for me.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm not saying I don't think he should be MVP. I just was surprised to hear those numbers because I felt like it was in my head a little bit closer. I mean, you're right. 62 wins right now. He's the best player on the best team.
Yeah.
And he's not just like the token best player on the best team wins MVP. Like, what he's doing is incredible this year.
Bro.
He's so dominant as a perimeter player, so efficient to be scoring as high volume the way he is. And it's not like 60-point game here, 20-point game here. It's literally 35 every single night on the dot. It's so consistent. It's so impressive.
I mean,
and he's a really elite defender too.
Yeah.
He's the worst defender on their team, but that doesn't say anything about him. It says everything about everything that he's got, around him.
Correct.
And that's the one thing that I will give to Jokic still.
Okay.
I was just looking it up. The Thunder this year with Shai Gilgeous on the court, plus 17.2, but with him off the court, they're plus 5. Okay, so there's still a really elite team with him off the court. Nuggets plus 10.4 with Jokic on the court, not quite as good as the plus 17 that the Thunder are with Shai, but without Jokic, minus 7.3. So a disaster. I mean, this would be a 20-win team if not for Jokic, compared to maybe it's a 52-win team without Shai, but a 70-win team with them. So it's a question of, what do you value more? Do you value the ability to take you to the higher high, or do you value the ability to prevent you from bottoming out? No right answer there. Both of them are MVP caliber players. Obviously, Jokic has already won it 3 times. I think Shai will win it this year, and I think he should. Yeah. But that's, I think, to me, the one point where I would still say I think Jokic has the leg up.
And, you talked, Dave, about it's the fact that he's doing it on the best team.
Yeah.
And some years that means different things. Because maybe, you're a 2 seed who's 1 win or 2 win shy of the 1 seed.
Sure.
They are far and away.
Okay. The Denver Nuggets in a very competitive Western Conference coming into tonight's NBA action are the 3 seed. They have 15 fewer wins than OKC. So that just tells you how far apart it is. The Thunder already have the 1 seed locked up.
They do.
In the Western Conference, they got the 1 seed locked up. I mean, Houston and Denver are currently tied as far as, games back at 13 and a half. 13 and a half games back. Which is why I do think that Shai will be the runaway winner.
He will. And very deservingly. So I don't want to sound like I don't think he should be winning.
Yeah.
Right. Dave, you talked about him being a 50%, field goal shooter with his volume. Not just that. Not just 50. 52.
Yeah.
He's shooting 52% from the field. Oh, and by the way, despite the fact that he is not a high-volume three-point shooter, he's still, because of his dominance in that mid-range game and inside, and getting the free throw line, he's still top 15 in the NBA in true shooting percentage.
It's dumb.
As a mid-range master, he is top 15 in the NBA in true shooting.
Yeah.
That is absurd.
No, it's truly dumb, man. So, and even in talking about Denver, Denver still has an actual chance of actually falling. OKC's going nowhere.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? That's it. They're as solidified as the Bulls in the play-in. All right, they are in there, dog. They are not going anywhere. The number 1 seed is happening for them, dude. You know what I mean?
Anytime you can get a Bulls play-in joke in there, that was good.
That was for you, Goat. That was for you.
That was good.
But yeah, I'm just truly impressed at just watching how great he really has been, and I definitely want to see it in the playoffs and watch how teams scheme and try to attack and what they try to take away. Because you're right, once. If you can do it without him, they can still be a good team without him. But obviously, you're a great team with him. With Denver, obviously, without Jokic, it's going to be an issue. But this team is focused on winning that championship. And I think you have to give credit to their coach as well, how he's gotten these young guys to buy in on defense. You know what I'm saying? Not their offense. They're going to get their buckets, but they buy in on defense. So he gets that credit for that as well. But Shai and what he's doing and consistency of what he's doing, my God, he's the MVP. Absolutely.
He's, just been so fun to watch this year. And like you said, with regards to their whole team, their system is built on defense. And he, like I said, is the worst defender on their team.
Yeah.
But it's just because you have Caruso and Dort and all these guys that make up for it. But that does not take away from how good he is on that end too. And that really matters when you're splitting hairs at the top. Yeah. That stuff stands out.
The tippy top. It's ridiculous.
Just because you mentioned now, we can let's talk a little Caruso.
Sure.
You know, little mini cookies of tears rolling down Bulls fans' faces everywhere. But some obviously very happy with the way that trade has worked out. And I think even myself, as someone who did not like that trade at all, when it happened, and then liked it even less about 20 games into the season, I am not where I was with my level of hatred for that trade because of what Giddey has shown us recently.
Yeah.
And that's great. And the discourse on the trade this NBA Twitter year, I think has been so weird and largely unhealthy for everyone involved. But a lot of people pointing to stats as well, this player's better than this player. Bulls won the trade. Look at what Giddey's putting up. Look at what Caruso's doing.
Sure.
And he's old. It is remarkable how like a hand in a glove fit Caruso has been on this Thunder team, being the role guy. As Dave, you say all the time, the nice rims on an already gorgeous car.
Mm-hmm.
Caruso is playing 19 minutes per game this season for OKC in 49 games played.
That's perfect.
His 3 years with the Bulls, his minutes per game averages were 28, 23.5, 28.7. The Bulls asked Caruso to do more than he is perfectly fit for doing.
Exactly.
And he is playing that role to a T. Very respectable shooting splits. You know, he's never been a huge three-point threat. He kind of got hot for a while with the Bulls, which is why some of us were screaming, trade him at the deadline. But 45, 35, 80% shooting splits. His per 36 numbers obviously much more impressive than his per game numbers. But a career-high 3.9 steal percentage. And among NBA players this season, with a minimum of 40 games played and averaging at least 10 minutes per game, the player with the best individual defensive rating in the NBA, Alex Caruso, at 101.9.
You know, good God. So the reason I always use that analogy about rims is being played out before our eyes. So when the Bulls put rims on their car and playing 28 minutes, you're taking it off road. You know what I mean? Like there's no point in having rims if you're taking your car off road. Yeah. And I'm sure you can still drive it.
You need an engine. You don't have to worry about rims.
Yeah, right. He wants to go off road. You we love you. I go.
Dumb and Dumber. Awesome. But
Ace Ventura when nature calls.
Oh my God, you're right. It was Ace Ventura.
Go home and watch it, Katie.
Right. No. That's absolutely right. It was. But so you're driving that car, and you're gonna dent up your rims. It's gonna be harder to, look nice. You know what I'm saying? When you taking it out. Here at OKC, they bring the car out on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? Like when the weather's nice, they bring it out. Like, look at them joints sparkle right there.
The forecast has 0% precipitation. The temperature will be between 70.5 and 71.5 degrees.
It's the perfect weather. Rims out, and they're using it perfectly. Now, when it gets to the playoffs, I think, that he'll definitely get, some more time in there, depending on the matchup, and how it's concerned. But watching how they use him, man, because some games that he'll play 9 minutes, some games he won't play at all. Some games he might play 20, just depending on what he's doing. And it always looks smooth.
Yeah.
Everything looks so smooth and fits so perfectly. And Alex Caruso, yes, was a perfect fit for this team. As I've said about the trade all the time, I've never felt any way about Josh Giddey. I never felt, like this or I hate him. Because for me, it was never about him. It was about maximizing the value of the trade and not getting the picks that you should have gotten from a team like OKC. So that's why I didn't like it. And that's why I still don't like it, and I never will. But I'm glad Josh Giddey is definitely, playing well, because that's awesome. And, that's great for your future. But that is definitely the reason I will always have issues with that trade. You could have got picks, bro, from a team with a bag like this. Just and you were like,
big old bag of picks.
Big old bag of picks. But yeah.
I mean, just thinking about what Arturas has said about it, his line has been both teams got something that they really needed. And I think that's true.
True.
When you are the Thunder and you have the presumptive MVP and you have a bona fide number 2 in Jalen Williams, you have an elite rim protector, you have another great center on your roster. You have more an embarrassment of riches. They drafted Topic, who I had really high in the draft. They've got 1 million draft picks that they don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
Caruso makes so much sense for them. And there are 16 players in the league this year, right now, who have a defensive EPM above 2. Okay. So
how many
explain
of them?
what the defensive EPM is?
Defensive box plus minus.
Defensive EPM is just an all-in-one stat that kind of describes your on-off numbers.
Estimated,
Yeah. It's just it's one of the better all-in-one stats that we have.
Yes.
So 16 players in the league are above 2. So that's out of 450 players, that's elite stuff. Only four players in the league have a defensive EPM above 3.
Mm-hmm.
Caruso's is 4.
Okay.
He's leading the league in defensive EPM. He's the best defensive player in the league by a lot of different metrics, and he fits with what they need because that's what they need. They needed a guy who can play 19 minutes, 20 minutes, come in the playoffs, give you lockdown defense, be a quarterback to your defense from the guard position.
That quarterback part, yeah.
He's everything. I mean, he's one of the best defenders of our generation. That's how good he is. And it doesn't mean that like that's not valuable to the Bulls, but the Bulls didn't need rims. They needed an engine.
Exactly.
Or like the exterior. I mean, they're starting over.
The car's busted.
You can't start with rims. So I agree. I think it's a very similar conversation to the one we have had with Vooch, which is you can not like the trade or the amount that you gave up, but still value the things that the player does well.
Yeah.
It's hard to divorce those two things, but I think you have to when you evaluate Giddey because he's playing really well right now.
Yeah.
And the best thing for the Bulls is for him to continue playing well.
Yeah.
Right?
That part.
That matters to the Bulls. They were not going to be a team that like needed to hang on to Caruso long term, anything like that. It was more to your point, Dave, of what else could you have gotten? And I think what we're seeing now is, again, it will depend on what the contract situation comes out to be. But like this trade has worked out better than I thought. I wasn't as down on it as a lot of people. I soured on it a little bit as the season went on and Giddey started to play worse.
Yeah.
But now he's playing really well. And I think you have to factor that in. But at the end of the day, like both teams got something that they needed more. I think Arturis is right in that. But I agree that there's probably a world where they could have gotten even more than that. And that's, I think, the difference. It's not anything about Giddey. It's about the value of Caruso at the time.
Correct.
And what you could get with him.
Correct.
It could be one of those rare instances where both teams walk away from the trade at the time being like, okay, compromise. And then the further along you go, you're like, you feel better and better about it. And you're like, oh, we both won the trade. Both teams won the trade. It's possible.
Right.
The people who are saying, oh, well, like now because of this stretch of games that Giddey's had after the All-Star break, it's clear like the Bulls won that trade by a landslide. It's not even close.
No.
Like, well, guess what? You're still going to pay Giddey what you're going to pay him. And do you think the Thunder, the league's #1 overall seed, are just like, oh my God, I can't believe we made that trade. Come back, Josh Giddey. We miss you so. No, dude, Caruso is a role player playing perfectly in a perfect role player role.
And it's better for those guys too. Giddey's probably much happier here being the engine of the offense, being the guy that he always thought he could be and that he wants to be in his career.
Right.
And Caruso doesn't have to like do everything and make up for all of the mistakes that go on around him. He can just be an elite defensive player in an elite defensive system.
Yeah.
Fit in. Be a great vet for them, hit threes when he needs to, and go win a freaking championship.
That's it.
A freaking chip. We are right around 20, maybe 25 minutes away from tip-off, y'all. We are here hanging out at the Hooters location downtown Chicago on Wells Street. Shout out to everybody hanging out here with us among Bulls Nation. Shout out to our hardworking crew. Shout out to hardworking crew here at Hooters.
Yeah.
Dave, you ready for this Bull starting 5?
Oh God, yes.
It's just for you.
I'm not, Katie. I'm not ready.
You're not ready for it.
Just for you.
All right.
So Kevin Huerter.
Matt Thomas playing?
Kevin Huerter was a scratch. He's dealing with a thumb sprain that I guess he got on Saturday night.
Okay.
It's first I'd seen that injury with that player connected to it on today's injury report. So with Huerter out, you got Giddey. You did get the green light playing through the sore hip.
Right.
You got Coby. You got Modest.
Okay.
You got Vooch.
Okay.
Starting at that wing position. Who closed down the stretch on Saturday?
The one and only Dalen M.F.N.
Dalen Terry getting a start for your Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
4 threes.
I think you could say with Huerter not being available, Dalen, in the way he played on Saturday, he earned it. He earned that start.
The way Billy has done Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry has kind of been similar. When one guy is hot, he's going to ride him. And Julian Phillips was hot, like towards that middle part of the season and some parts in March, and he was getting rewarded. He was actually getting rewarded with the starts. He was getting rewarded with being the first guy off the bench. We saw that. We saw games where Dalen didn't even play. We saw it. So Dalen has, again, rose to that challenge, started playing very well. I was shocked and dumbfounded that Billy went with him in that fourth quarter it blew my mind. Not that Dalen didn't deserve it, just that Billy made that decision. Yeah. I've never seen him do that.
I feel shocked.
Yeah, man. Dude, it was wild. So it just says a lot to how well Dalen's been playing. And this is definitely a reward per se. I mean, it's against OKC, but it's still a reward because you're out there, being in the starting lineup. So yes, man, congratulations to him. Let's see him hit 6 threes and ball out.
They need someone to guard Shea.
Yeah, somebody got to be on
Coby, and it's not going to be Giddey.
So Julian,
it's crazy. If you're making the starting lineup based on that and you don't put Patrick Williams in there, that tells you how freaking bad he is.
Patrick's more of like a 4 defender, 3-4.
Sure.
He's gonna cook everybody.
We've seen Pat take the KD assignment, the Kawhi assignment.
That's true.
But
he's athletic. He's big enough. Like he can run.
I get your point, Katie, because that was exactly what's going through my head. Yeah. Right before you said it, I was like, man, Patrick Williams not going to start.
Well, yeah, but what's crazy is like you put, I think accurately, Julian and Dalen into that bucket of like Billy's going to play whoever's playing well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Patrick's kind of falling into that. He's a little bit more consistent where at least he's like guaranteed minutes every game.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like not 28, it's like 20 or like 15. And it's trending the wrong way. We would talk about trends with Giddey and how there's going to be bumps in the road and ups and downs. It's not going to be a perfect straight line up. Patrick is trending the wrong direction right now, and he needs to find a way to get himself on track if he wants to.
So let me ask you guys something. We've seen Billy pull the young guys when they make a mistake. How many points does Shea have to score, assuming Dalen Terry is guarding him, for Billy to be like, you know what, this is it, we're done, I'm going to get somebody else in here?
I don't think there's a magic number there because what other options does Billy have?
That's it. Yeah,
that's fair.
He's going to go with and one, you're going to see multiple guys on Shea. Yeah. Like it just won't be one set defender to him. So you're going to see Dalen, you'll see Coby, I think, when you on some switches. You'll see Julian Phillips taking a run at him. You'll see Patrick if he plays,
right?
And he's got his pulse ready. You'll see him, taking a run at SGA. That's just what you do with really great players. Like everybody gets a look,
right?
Like I don't believe in stoppers. Like Jordan destroyed that a long time ago. We don't believe in stoppers. A team is your stopper. That's the only way you can kind of quell some of that fire right there.
Right, and I mean, like the thing about the Bulls have 1 trillion guards. 2 of the guys who you would probably pick first and second to guard Shea, Lonzo and Ayo, are on the shelf right now.
That's true.
So that rounds out the Bulls injury report. Lonzo remains out with the wrist, trying to work his way back to maybe play a game or 2 before the play-in tournament or by the play-in tournament. Trey Jones remains out with that foot sprain. For the Thunder, we're still waiting on some game-time calls on Chet, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Jalen Williams, all with a questionable tag. Meanwhile, they're missing Aaron Wiggins, dealing with an Achilles. Nikola Topic, who Goat mentioned earlier, had knee surgery. He's done. Ousmane Dieng also out dealing with a calf. He's come on strong and had solid minutes for them this season. AJ Mitchell had toe surgery. He's done. So, the Thunder, there are a lot of, supporting cast that they have lost for the season or are currently out, but, their core is still very much intact, assuming Holmgren, Hartenstein, and it's the YLIN Jalen Williams.
Yes, correct.
By the way, who's on the injury report, just to make that.
So just looking at the latest injury report, which came out a little bit ago, Hartenstein in, Holmgren in, Jalen Williams in.
There you go. So
it would have been a sad day for Will to go Gottlieb if Hartenstein wasn't out there on the floor.
Speaking of injuries, guys, we did just get some breaking news here.
A little bit
of a Shams bomb while we're going. The New Orleans Pelicans have announced that Zion Williamson and CJ McCollum will miss the remainder of the season due to their respective injuries. My reaction when I saw that tweet alert, they weren't already.
Zion's been playing really well.
You're the Pelicans, man.
He has.
Swim down.
What is his injury?
Swim down.
I didn't know what was Zion's injury.
Draft pickitis.
Snacks?
Eating too many delicious wings at Hooters.
At Hooters, Hooteritis, yes. All right.
I'm about to pop up on it.
Oh, man. That's a permanent injury over there for young Matthew Peck right there, ladies and gents.
That's right. All right, well, let's now get to our pre-game picks.
Okay, all right.
Brought to you by, of course, Bet365. Use that promo code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment is never ordinary at Bet365. And, guys, we were just talking about Patrick Williams not being the guy to, take the most difficult defensive assignment tonight.
Right.
Well, you can't do that from the jump if you're not on the floor from the jump. And Billy Donovan removed Pat from the starting lineup a while ago now and coming on the heels of a game in which he did what, Dave? He scored. He had as many combined points,
rebounds,
assists, steals, and blocks as turnovers.
Yes.
The number of each was 3.
He had more, but if you add fouls to this, he had more turnovers and fouls than he had all of those other numbers. He had 5 to 3.
So look, it's not like
in 17 minutes.
It's not like I enjoy being mean. I'm just betting.
Whoa, man! Don't do that when I'm drinking. What are we doing here?
I don't set out every moment of every day to be mean. I mean, snarky and condescending to those who deserve it, yes, but that's not the same as mean.
Well, it just depends on the person, I think. Because there's some names I could throw out that will start your day with hate.
Either way.
And end your day with hate.
Statement retracted. I'm taking the under on Patrick Williams' rebounds tonight.
Oh, okay. Which is?
3.5.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, stay away from me.
I mean, like, are you kidding me? The fact that is the number.
Yeah.
For a 6'8" power forward.
Yeah.
3.5 is the over-under, and it is along the lines of what he has done all season, basically what he's done his entire NBA career. And maybe, if nothing other than a motivating factor. Hey, Pat, are you watching your beloved CHGO Bulls pregame every night?
Over in that.
You done?
2 out of the last 3 games.
Great.
Okay, just telling you.
Regression to the means is coming. That's what that means.
I didn't say all 3.
I got a primo 2 rebound night from Patrick Williams.
2 rebound.
On deck.
Primo. All right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is what the man does.
What if he plays a bunch with the bench unit during extended garbage time?
He will continue to let other people get the rebounds.
Okay.
That's what the man does.
I can't really argue with that.
I mean, yeah.
It's partly that I believe that bet hitting, and it's partly like a motivating factor.
You're trying to motivate him by taking the under.
Yes.
And then making a profit on it. Yeah. Shout out to Matt Peck.
One or the other. If he grabs 4 or more rebounds tonight off the bench, great. Good job, Pat. Golf clap. Also, this one I am riding again. I came up a half a point shy when I played it the other night. Giddey combined assists and boards has dropped from, it was 17.5 the other night when I bet him and he got 17. It's at 15.5 tonight. He is on course for a revenge game. You know Giddey's going to try and play well tonight.
Oh yeah,
you know he's going to be motivated after it was like the crazy rise and all the hype of the half-court heave. We beat the Lakers. Oh my God! And then kind of a dud night on Saturday against Dallas.
Yeah.
He rides the pine for the clutch minutes in the back half of the fourth.
Yes.
Show me the response, Josh Giddey. And show me the response doing what you always do, whether or not you are getting the free throw line and hitting your threes and pouring in points, which is crash the boards and be a facilitator for your teammates. So that's why I like the over on 15.5 Giddey combined assists and boards tonight. And then if you want to be on the gentle side of things, you can get Modest plus money to score 15 or more tonight. 15 plus points, Modest you can get for plus 125 right now on Bet365.
Okay.
I'm going to push that.
Oh.
Modest had 28 on Saturday.
Yes, he did.
We saw him have a career high 31 not long prior to that.
Take that, LeBron.
Modest Buzelis to score 20 or more. Notice this is the person I'm giving the 20 plus points bet to, and not the under on rebounds.
Okay, all right, smart man.
They're like some people out there be like, "Hey, Patrick Williams, 20 plus points." It's happened 10 times in the history of him being an NBA player. Modest Buzelis 20 plus points tonight. Follow up that convincing and very strong performance against the Mavs. You can get that at plus 400 on Bet365 right now. Modest Buzelis has scored 20 plus. Whether or not he's out there as a part of that starting unit and playing well, or maybe playing some spot minutes down the stretch of a game that gets out of hand, we'll see. I'm not predicting that will be the case.
We'll see.
We don't know. Either way, I think Modest, especially with some of those recent comments in Goat's latest write-up, ALLCITY.com, of Billy talking about Modest, especially after that game against Dallas, after the game against the Lakers, where Modest is just like, he's playing this much because he's earned it at this point in the season. I don't anticipate that changing because of like, oh, he made one little rookie mistake. He's past that now.
Yeah.
You don't get the quick yank from Billy for making a rookie mistake because he's played well enough to earn being beyond that.
Yeah.
In the like, how frequently do I get put in the doghouse category?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. 2 of his 4 20-plus point games have come in the last 8 days. So that's what we're talking about, trending the right direction. I don't think he's totally out of the woods yet on that. I think there's still going to be moments where he gets pulled for bad mistakes, but again, it's big picture trends, and you want to see that continue to go up. And there is no way you can argue against that being the case since he entered the starting lineup.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's developing before our very eyes. Hope we're all enjoying what we're seeing from this young man, and leading the team in points and assists at 6'10" is no small feat, ladies and gentlemen. Like
plus
that
9
is
rebounds.
Plus 9 rebounds as well. Like, and then to also again to be the really good help defender that he is on the other end. I know people attack him for his one-on-one defense and things like that because he's not perfect, guys. He still has things to work on, but he's not a terrible defender because he's a really, really good help defender, getting those blocks, deterring shots from those guys with his length. So I am always just very impressed by this young man. So everything I just see from him now is like little tiny tweaks and like mental stuff for him.
And I think consistency. Like he had the 31-point game, and then he had a 10-point game, and then he had a 12-point game, and then he had a 28-point game. So I want to see him be a little bit more consistent with it. Some of that is the jump shot falling tonight.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah,
he's not like an elite shooter. He's gotten much better at it, and he's I think answered a lot of the questions that you had pre-draft about him as a shooter.
Yeah.
But can you just be more consistent? And it's harder to do that when you're playing more minutes. It just is. Your responsibility is more. Your expectations are higher. You have to work harder to be more consistent for 28 minutes a game or 30 minutes a game compared to 15 or 12.
Yes.
So that's a challenge for him, I think, moving forward. But he's stepped up and he's answered it. Last game, career high in minutes, 37. So great for him. Great job to just keep getting better. And I think it speaks a lot to his mentality and the way that he is approaching his growth and development. It's not just on the Bulls to guide him. He's an active participant in that, and he's doing an incredible job.
Incredible job.
Matt Noonan in the comments saying, Modest is going to be guarded by Chet. Bet the under. Oh, ye of little faith. Come on. You don't think Modest can score on Chet? He can score on Chet.
Like you said, when he got those handles, like that changes things. And see, I'm just waiting for him to get that handles where he hits that step back with it. You know what I mean? Like that little mid-range
and he's
game.
got that. We saw it in Summer League.
I know.
But there's a difference between doing that in the regular season versus Summer League.
So we're talking about consistency.
Yeah.
Like it's that part of his game. Once we start seeing those kind of things blossom, you're going to see a different me.
I think it's like first part of the season was like earning some minutes, doing the right things on the court to even get on the court. He was averaging 10 minutes a game during October, November.
Which is defense.
Now you're on the court a little bit more. Can you do the right things consistently? And that was a long one.
Yeah.
But then he had that 10 for 10 game against Miami. Since then, he's been in the starting lineup. Yep. And there's still been times where he gets pulled.
Yeah.
Or he's not on the court to close games.
Correct.
Now it's like, can you be more consistent to where you're just playing 36 minutes a night?
Yeah.
Because they can't afford to take you off the court.
That's right.
And then you start to get into more of the creation stuff.
Tap, step.
I think the Bulls really need that. They need a guy who can do that with his size. But yeah, Modest he's been really impressive.
He's going to be we got a massive guest walking down.
Massive. Oh, young Spanish in the house. Yo, what?
The eruption.
Young Spanish is here. Oh, my goodness. Oh,
the eruption.
Can we give Katie the night off and make him produce post-game tonight?
Headset.
I will go home immediately.
Yeah, Katie's ready to go.
With some wings, obviously.
I'm about to say, you got to have Marks first, so she'll stay.
Real quick, guys, official starting five for the Thunder from their team account. It is Lou Dort and Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP frontrunner, Chet and Hartenstein in the backcourt. Yikes. That's a test.
They're so good.
Yeah.
That's a test. My goodness. Shout out to Kimberly, who's not only here hanging out with us at Hooters, but through us a super chat. What did the super chat say, Katie?
Got in. There was one. Did two things.
Man. It says, Goat's been wearing the headset too long. Quaff alert.
The quaff is in danger.
It's danger.
Get
away from him,
headsets.
Get away from him. Get away. Leave those follicles alone.
Any fun questions we can answer quickly before we get out of here from the chat, Katie?
Sure. Let me find the one that I really liked.
Does anyone still feel confident in Patrick scoring 20?
This one I thought was funny because we talk about we talk about beef stew all the time.
Beef stew.
And this one says one question that's going to need an answer is who's going to be the guy that can square up with beef stew? The Pistons don't appear to be going anywhere soon, and the Bulls may need it.
The guy who did. Jalen Terry.
Exactly right.
That's right.
No fear.
We've already seen
no fear.
the coon on the Bulls.
That's it.
Who is not afraid of Isaiah Stewart, although he probably should be.
I'm glad I'm on
the
Dalen's
greatness. Yeah. Dude, that's the greatness of Dalen. He should be, but he ain't.
So I got an ESPN alert on my phone last night, and the first few words of it were like, NBA, brawl breaks out into stands or like involved fan, whatever. Before I even saw either of the teams were involved, I was like, I guarantee you Beef Stew is related to this.
Yes, correct.
Oh yeah,
of course he is.
Shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Oh my God.
Like multiple times a year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's what he
Dude
does.
loves fighting people.
He enjoys it. He really enjoys it.
Do you think he has a Kendall Gill-esque future in post-NBA playing days, like fighting career?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Like boxer Beef Stew?
Interesting.
MMA Beef Stew?
I haven't seen him square up, even though I didn't see Kendall square up either. But before he went and knocked people out.
Yeah.
He's got a career as a defensive end.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, maybe UFC, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. He can do that as well. But
I still can't get over the amount of people that were holding him back from charging LeBron.
Hey,
that
man.
was crazy.
Hey, bro. He made me bleed my blood. bleed my own blood.
My own blood.
Nobody does that.
LeBron was doing right. Oh, they hiding behind the ref.
He was like, "Damn, that feels big."
So tough. So tough.
I got one more fun one for you guys here before we get out.
Hit us.
What's the go-to Hooters order?
So we just had some delicious wings. We had
were good.
Barbecue, honey barbecue, garlic parmesan.
Okay.
And then what was that one flavor she wanted to try? Was it like the Thai hot spicy chili?
We got the shrimp, the fried shrimp with that, but I
Okay.
can't remember exactly what it was. But it was
Okay.
really good.
Yeah,
I believe it.
we got like 3 or 4 different wing flavors, all of them delicious.
Fries were
We
good.
got some amazing curly fries,
Oh, the curly fries are awesome.
and the cold beers are going down
Cold beers
smooth.
are cold.
Going down smooth. Yeah, check out one of your 11 Chicagoland Hooters locations, y'all. $6 cocktails,
Grab them all.
$6 legendary Hooters margaritas.
Margarita.
Katie has one on deck. She
Mhm.
deserves it. She's earned it. We will get out of here. We are past 7 o'clock at Chicago Central Local Time. Means tip off between the Bulls and the Thunder. The revenge game. Giddey revenge is just right around the corner. Thank you again to not only everybody who hung out with us in the comments in the YouTube chat per usual. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done it yet. For crying out loud, all near 200 of you. Appreciate you hanging out with us and hanging out with us and our fellow Bulls fans who came out to show some love here at Hooters downtown Chicago tonight.
This could have been you. We're gonna go hang out with the cool
It
fans
might
right
be
now.
you. You might be hanging out right here.
You still got time.
Yeah.
Come on through.
We're gonna
Come
hang
baby.
out with these wonderful people, our fellow Bulls fans, to watch the first half of this Bulls Thunder game.
Yeah.
Shout out again to Stephanie and her incredible team here,
Yes,
the wonderful
yes,
staff and
yes.
Hooters who have kept us, our glasses full, our plates full,
Correct.
kept us nice and happy. Very fun. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Hopefully.
That's going to do it. Will is Will_Gottlieb. He's,
Will's Will.
he's perfectly coiffed. Got to get the headset off.
It is.
Read his stuff, allchgo.com. We'll be back for post game and hear more of his thoughts, more of Big Day's thoughts. He's at BNWO Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO Bulls. And yes, the one and only queen of the controls is Katie Duffy. Shout out also to Steven, one of our other amazing CHGO producers, as well as Emma, who are working things, getting set up before we went live tonight. Let's go hang out and watch Bulls Thunder.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Why not?
We will see y'all back at the studio for a live post game following Bulls and Thunder right here on that CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Hit the like. See you right. Be good.
Peace, y'all. Hooters.
We all silly like the mayor.